Hey everybody, wanted to make a video here to show you how efficient the auto axe or even the chainsaw can be for getting XP. Yes, it doesn't matter, the chainsaw or the auto axe. The auto axe you got from the score, I think, and which is about to be over, and the chainsaw you can find. I'll put a link in the description to maybe help you find a chainsaw. And yeah, we're going to get into this. I'm going to show you why it's efficient and why you should be doing this if you're ranking up. So first off, you're going to need an auto axe or a chainsaw, of course. Now, I highly recommend that you get a Vampires one to do this because you will be using a Bloodied Unyielding build, which is very low health. I recommend, if you can't get an auto axe or just get a chainsaw, either or, and maybe just roll 1 stars because all you need is that Vampires effect to accomplish what I'm doing right now. Just the 1 star. So I'm just saying that'll cost you less modules. Now let's get into the perks and the level placements that you're going to need. Now I want to say too that these can be moved around. I'm just going to point out perks that you kind of need for this, but you can definitely move them around. I was planning on picking up a lot of grenades and collecting scrap like weapons and steel, so that's kind of why I have my strength high, and you'll see I have a lot of carry weight buffs on, which I think I was like close to like 600 carry weight when I was running around. But you don't have to worry about carry rate. You will want Incisor. It's under Strength, of course, and you're going to want Blocker. Other than that, under Strength, you can switch it up and do whatever you want, but I highly recommend Incisor because you're not going to need any of the melee perks to buff the damage of the chainsaw or the auto axe. It's already extremely powerful, especially with Adrenaline on under Agility, which I'm going to show you, but I would throw Incisor on because it definitely makes a difference with the super mutants that I notice anyway. So just throw on that one to give it a bit of a damage buff. Night Person, you're going to want on for your XP buffs, which I have made another video explaining all the XP buffs. I will put a link in the description to that as well. Endurance here. You can move these around a bit too. You can see I actually move them around in the video, but like even Life Giver, like I don't think you would really need that, but Ironclad you're definitely going to want because once again you're running around in an unyielding armor build and it's very low health. I highly recommend Fireproof at least level 2. If you can get it to level 3, do it because you don't want a Suicider randomly killing you doing this, and that can very easily happen when you go downstairs in West Tech and then come back up because that's what you do to keep the enemies respawning. Field Surgeon I would have on because your health will just drop sometimes, especially if you're not using a vampire weapon and you want to be able to get that stim pack off quick. Inspirational for XP, obviously. Strange in Numbers helps as well with the mutations, and Tenderizer is just a little bit more of a buff to help with your damage output. Now, this is probably the most important perk card, is Makeshift Warrior. I want it to show me actually putting it on here. You probably want it level 5, especially if you're going to be doing this a lot because the chainsaw and the auto axe break extremely fast when using it. I did this for an hour. I didn't even repair the chainsaw or the auto axe before I went in, and it didn't even break once with Makeshift Warrior level 5 on. You can see I switch out some of the endurance perks there for Chem Fiend, which is going to help my Berry Mentats last longer, which again I would get into in another video I will link in the description about buffs. No point in me going over that again in this video when I've already covered it, and like I said, we'll put the link in there. And I would think if you're clicking on this, you probably know a fair well about buffs anyway. And yeah, Adrenaline, definitely you're going to want on because those super mutants are just going to start dying instantly. Highly recommend Curator. Action Boy and White Knight, definitely, but Action Boy I wouldn't even say you need at level 3, but it definitely helps with the chainsaw because while you're using the chainsaw, your AP will go down, and the Action Boy just helps it fill up faster. Serendipity is another one I highly recommend since you're such a low health. That will help keep you alive. If you don't have Blocker and Serendipity on, you're probably going to die in West Tech with this build. The only one on here you don't need is Strength. Now, I just put it on there again because I want an extra carry weight. Strength, the more strength you have, the more carry weight you have. but it's not a necessity for this build. So you could throw something on there, but the intelligence, endurance, charisma, agility, I think you definitely need for this build. And, well, depending where you put your perk points too as well, of course. You might be able to find another way to make it work. The perk cards are more important. And, of course, like I said, you're going to need a full unyielding build, preferably with +1 intelligence on it, which is not easy to get. Good luck if you're going for it, because I still only have 2 pieces, I think, out of 5 with unyielding +1 intelligence. But yeah, you will need that. Again, a link in the description that could explain that a little bit more, which is about buffs. And that's pretty much it. You're going to go into Westech and you are going to destroy super mutants with this. Trust me, you do not need any melee builds. I think it's Slugger is the two-handed melee, which will buff the damage of this auto axe or chainsaw, but it does not matter. I did speed up the footage here a bit, but they're still dying pretty much instantly. And it's simple as that, everybody. I just wanted to point this out too, because you won't use ammo, so you're not wasting ammo. Like, I used to run through Westech like months ago with a 50 cal. I would use a 5mm Gatling gun sometimes, but the 50 cal just kills them quicker, so I would use the 50 cal, and I would go through 30,000 bullets in like a couple of hours. Like, this will save you that trouble. Not to mention, it is a lot faster than the 50 cal. You will run through Westech so quick. It's like, brr, dead, brr, dead. There's like 3 super mutants, like, side by side, brr, 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 dead. Like, it's awesome, trust me. I would also like to point out too, like, you may not have access to everything in this video. Just work your way towards that. And, you could pretty much just easily get an auto axe or a chainsaw. You know, and oh, I wanted to point out too, on the chainsaw, I would recommend the electrified mod. I should have pointed out earlier, but sorry about that. You can find that at the White Springs Refuge, which I point out in another video, which is the best mods for the auto axe attachments. I don't think I will link that video. You can find it on my channel. It's the best mod for the auto axe, and it is the electrified one. You probably don't even need it, but I would suggest it if you can get it. I think it's like 75 stamps at the White Springs Refuge. And once you're done clearing out Westech, you go into the elevator I show you right here, which you will need to have the, I think it's the Wastelanders quest done, or is it the Brotherhood one now? I can't think. It's the Wastelanders, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, roast me in the comments. But I get into that in my buff video as well, which I will link in the description. Like I said, I just wanted to show how efficient this can be for getting XP. You're not wasting grenades if you don't want to do it that way, which is probably the optimal way, but this is definitely a better way to, you know, conserve ammo and whatnot. Let me know if you're going to try this. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, everybody.